Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first edition of the Tommy Tice Coaches Show during football season. During basketball season and soccer season, we'll have the other head coaches of those prospective programs. But right now, it's football season, and we're here to talk with Coach Tommy Tice in last Friday night's big win over the Sheridan Yellow Jackets as the Harrison Goblins came away with a 28-14 victory. Coach, welcome to the show. We're glad we're here. This is the new home of the Goblin sports for the next 3 years, Hometown TV, and we're excited you're here.
Well, we're always glad to get to talk about Goblin football. It's good to be with you. And, we're excited about the season. Got it off to the, right start. And that's always makes it better. Anytime you can talk about a victory, Lord. So, we're just looking forward to it. And, every Friday night, it's a happening somewhere with Goblin football.
It is. We're excited this week. The crosstown rival, I guess you could call them, where the county's over. It becomes a county rivalry at this point. This Baxter County and the Mountain Home Bombers will invade FS Garrison Stadium this Friday night, and it's going to be Pink Out Night for Breast Cancer Awareness Night. But we'll talk about that next week. This week we're going to talk about the Sheridan Yellow Jackets, and we're going to go right to the plays. And we're excited. We saw some good things from your players. We talked off screen about Jackson Dorman playing phenomenally well, running north and south, and Brandon Davis playing well in the middle. And your quarterback play, couldn't ask much better of Tate Stokes.
Did an excellent job. I thought overall the team gave a great effort. You never know first game what you're going to get. I watched Virginia Tech and Boise State last night go down the wire and win the game, and there were so many mistakes during the ball game. And that's what you worry about in the first ball game, is just lots of mistakes, and who usually makes the least amount of mistakes first night out, that's who wins. And that's what happened, because we made several mistakes, and we certainly got lots of things to work on and shore up some stuff that Sheridan pointed out to us that we need to work on. But very pleased with their effort. I thought they gave a great Goblin effort, and that's what we ask our kids, to uphold Goblin tradition. And Goblin tradition to me is simply, in football, out-hit and out-hustle the opponent. And I thought we did that, so we're very pleased.
I thought it was a great effort by the Goblins, especially for a young team that you've got. The experience is obviously on your line and everywhere else. It's a fresh quarterback, fresh backfield, things of that nature, and I thought they played extremely well for week one.
Well, they did, and we do have a lot of new faces, especially on the defensive side of football. We graduated 8 seniors off the defensive side of football. And, new linebacking core with Austin Jensen and Taylor Wells. You talked about Brandon at nose guard, and also Seth Willis played well in there, as did Kyle Stewart. One of the old hands, of course, is Eric Mitchell at defensive end and John Colliver at outside linebacker. But the rest of it, there's lots of fresh faces over there. And, we broke down a time or two in the secondary. And that's the biggest thing right now that we've really got to get better. We've got good athletes back there. We've just got to continue to work hard and get the repetitions that we need, because we broke down a time or two that they just missed some passes on us, and we got to fix that real quick.
One of the highlights we'll see later on is the one that they got beyond the free safety and their quarterback just overthrew it, or that could have been 6 going the other way.
Right.
But on the defensive side too, in the first quarter, where Johnson missed the pick, he had one that was right when they ran the little out, and he broke on the ball, went right through his hands. If he picks it up, what a way to turn that defense around. I mean, they played well. Statistically, when we ran the numbers, it was they really dominated the game, but it would have been nice to get a defensive score.
Well, it sure would. Anytime you score on defense, well, that's just a bonus, And we got a few turnovers, got some turnovers defensively, but the big thing where we dominated the game, I thought, was in the kicking game. John Colliver kicked the ball out of the end zone every time, except we tried to, onside kick there once. We almost started the game with it and told the team that was what our plan was, to start with an onside kick. But the wind was blowing so good out of the north, and when we got to defend that goal to start with, we knew we better take the field position to start with. And then our little, we call it Chuck Norris. Why we call it Chuck Norris, I don't know. But, punt formation, shallow punt formation, shotgun punt, whatever you want to call it, where we leave Tate back there, and he can either run it or kick it. He pinned them inside the 10-yard line 2 or 3 times.
Three times I saw, and then you think they would have caught on. He made that little rollout, saw the opening when it was 4th and 15 at midfield, and picked up the first down. And no, I mean, nobody touched him for 15 yards. I mean, it's you thought they would have recognized that, especially when we did it the first time down, but they didn't. Like I said, it was a huge effort, and you won the game in field position. I think I don't have a stat in front of me, but you probably started somewhere on your own 45-yard line
near
on
midfield.
average.
That's true.
The whole day, and when you shorten the field to 50 yards, it's a whole lot easier to score instead of having to go 80.
Well, Tate has the option, and some people think I'm crazy for giving a 16-year-old. I told him, I said, hey, whatever you decide to do with it, that's fine. And he looked up, and then they didn't have anybody outside to contain him. And so he took off in an early part of the game, and I'm going, oh, my gosh, Tate, I don't know about 4th and 15, but he took off and he made it happen. And like I told him when he came off after we scored after that, I told him, I said, no, whatever you decide is fine. I said, just use your good common sense, and if they got us contained out there, punt the football. If they don't, take off. We're good with it.
Well, when we pinned them 3 times inside the 10 and held them to 3 and out, and then were able to force them to punt, they didn't punt very well either. I mean, when we're punting from our 45 and we pin them inside the 5, and then they punt and we're taking the ball back on their 40. We netted 15 positive yards by punting and 3 and out, which you're right. I didn't think about that kicking game, but that was a huge impact.
Well, you go in the ball game and you talk to your team an awful lot about, we got to win the kicking game. You can win one or the other, offense or defense, but as long as you win the kicking game, you've got a chance to win the ball game. So we always want to have that on our side. We spend a lot of time on it. We spend a lot of time talking to them about it. That special teams are made up of special people, and they have to be people that really hunger to be there. They have to be people that their word will stand up. If they got to contain or whatever the position or job that they've got, that they're going to make it the most important job out there. So we put a lot of pressure on our kids in the kicking game.
Well, it makes it nice with a guy like Colliver. I know that statistically and rankings and things of that nature, you try not to let that fill their heads, but Colliver is nationally ranked as the 17th best kicker in the nation, according to Rivals.com, and it's pretty nice to have him tick it off and know it's going to go into the end zone. He didn't have anybody run it out. I mean, they started every time we kicked off on their own 20, and that makes it nice that you don't have to defend in the special teams.
Well, the percentages are in your favor big time that they will not be able to go the distance. If they start 80 yards away, the percentages are very low that they'll be able to go score. So anytime you can do that, it's just a big plus, for your team. And John is a nationally ranked kicker. That's true. He's handled it well. He's a very humble young man, because we tell our kids, you either remain humble or you stumble. And he kicks the ball real well, extra points. Last year he kicked a 53-yard field goal against Siloam Springs. We play him both ways. He gets tired sometimes, and so we have to try and find ways to rest him a little bit, because that kicking is one of the biggest weapons that we have.
Well, hopefully we're not fourth and punting very often where he has to come off the field and get a break then. But
well, I tell you, he's not coming off then. He's going to be on the punt team. I'll see him after the game.
Well, Coach, we're going to take a short break. We come back. We're going to watch the game and the plays and get your comments of what we think. We'll be right back.